We could have a full house today. I'm just looking at all the happy faces in the green room. We'll get into them in a minute. Good morning, everybody. It is the 25th of November. It's nearly Christmas, everybody. Well, it is now because obviously COVID's... we know what we're doing. And that's what we're talking about today. Well, I'm talking about anyway. You ask me any questions about COVID-related tears, COVID-related Christmas. I have all the answers. I do. Anyway, let's get on with the headlines. So the Chancellor to set out government is Chancellor. I haven't been drinking, honestly. Chancellor to set out government spending plans. Rishi Sunak's spending review comes in about half an hour's time amid a very difficult economic backdrop caused by the pandemic. Oh, at least we didn't know about that. Caution urged over coronavirus Christmas rules. The UK's 5-day relaxation of rules will throw fuel on the fire, scientists warn. Meghan tells of unbearable grief of miscarriage. I knew as I clutched my firstborn child that I was losing my second, Meghan writes in an article today. And Bake Off winner, absolute dream of victory. Yes, student Peter Sawkins, I don't know if anybody watched it last night, spoiler alert, I've already said his name. Student Peter Sawkins last night watched the Great British Bake Off final with his unsuspecting flatmates in Edinburgh. That means he's kept it a secret for 5 months. To be honest, I did get up at 5:30 this morning to watch it because it was really complicated, everybody, that I couldn't watch it last night, but then I knew everybody was talking about it this morning, so I had to watch it. I was up at 5:30, cup of coffee, me and the wife sat there in the West Wing and watched the Bake Off. Anybody else watched it? No. No, nobody. Mark, you on mute.
Yeah, I just find that amusing that you're the only person to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
I woke up at 5 thinking, if I get up now, put the radio on and tell me who's won, I'm going to be devastated. And it was just all weird. The catch-up last night wasn't working and on Channel 4, so it's all very strange. So we have a full house. Darren is here, Maz is here, Mark is here. We have 2 shows left of this current lockdown situation.
Today and Friday, yeah? Oh, no,
yeah, that's it.
We're still in lockdown on Monday.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I have everything, because Mark asked me yesterday about the tier situation, and I said, I'll find out, and I have pages of stuff here that you can ask me any questions about. But first, let's get on with Maz's monologue.
So, the national lockdown will end next Wednesday, but some sections of the country will still be under harsher measures than before. So, if this was a TV drama, I would have given up watching ages ago, because I'm not sure if they're going to stick to the original script no matter what, or are they just making this up as they go along? And last night it was announced that 3 households came over the Christmas period. So the virus has decided to take a festive break. You know, good to know the massively deadly, life-stopping horror that the government have said this is, that the COVID has decided to take Christmas off. I mean, we're so lucky that this deadly disease that we've all been living in fear of has such selective attacks on people. 5 days off for Mr. COVID, then back to work as normal. I mean, seriously, you know, personally, I feel that we will never make progress if it's constantly going to be this 1 step forward, 3 steps back approach. And the reason why it is that people can't make little sacrifices during a pandemic. You know, nice to see the government fully back the lockdown and tiers as the right measure when they think actually it's irrelevant for 5 days over Christmas. And of course, I'm assuming the virus is very smart to figure out Christmas is off limits. I mean, even in tier 3, non-essential retail can open. So why is it that so many businesses have struggled for 9 months? when now it's okay for them to be open. I mean, really, isn't it time to get back to normal? As a government, clearly don't believe in any measure they have taken. You know, a relentless psychological roller coaster of stories to leave people insecure, anxious, fearful, and confused. And it's clear by now that we're a nation sharply divided into sheeps and goats. Those that believe living a half life indoors and not seeing people for a time to avoid catching COVID is worth it. And then we have those that believe seeing people and living a full life is important and worth risking COVID for. You know, unfortunately, the government have taken away personal choice and reinforced it, I'd like to say, false statements and data, thereby damaging all credibility. And now people are making their own decisions anyway. So on that note, over to you, boys.
Well, there we go. It's Maz being very dramatic again. I'd just like to say, just before we carry on, I'm sorry. I know how she's working this now, because if you look at a LinkedIn feed, what she does, she's recorded this, she records it, downloads it, then she edits us out. So it's just her section. I don't know if you've noticed that. Thanks, Maz. Thanks so much for that. Anyway, so I'm on it today. So just to let you know, you're talking rubbish, Maz. Absolute rubbish. Absolute. I just driveling on about lockdown, not lockdown. Whatever. It's. I'm sorry, but it's the mental health of the UK, of the world, and it's going to cause more problems. Look, do you think if we stayed in this, I'm really going on. If you really think if we stay in this as we are, that everybody is going to stick to the rules over Christmas? No.
I get that. But what about all these other festivals? We've had Diwali, we've had Eid. There was no exception. But all of a sudden, we've got Christmas down the road, and it's okay for 5 days for it to open. What's changed? Nothing.
So is this a religion thing? Are we? Ooh,
no, it's not a religion thing. It's as and when it suits them. That's what it is. Constantly, they're plugging in. We've just had a 4-week lockdown, which is going to open next week, saying, this is deadly. We're going to die. But now all of a sudden,
we are.
We're fine now.
You're only going to die if you have, as far as I understand it, 89 people in your house.
I mean, I don't live and breathe the COVID.
It's one person in 90. One person in 90 carries the disease. So if you have 89 people in your house, fine.
You've been locked inside.
No, I have been out. Can I tell you something? I'm sort of losing the sense of smell and taste this morning.
Oh.
I keep getting this. I can smell it, but it's just. Yeah, I can smell that. That's fine. That's a really strong hand gel. I don't know. I haven't been out, but obviously, I don't know. Go on, Mark. Bring some
sort of sanity to it, and I don't want to sound disparaging or anything else, but we are a Christian
sanitizer.
We are a Christian country, and so that the reason Christmas is obviously been put forefront of the calendar is because the majority of people are obviously, celebrate Christmas. And that's not to take anything away from anyone else's religion and celebration, but that's why I feel they're doing it. That the mass of the country is shutting down over this period. But it's like what you say, Matt, and I've had a few people, I won't name who they are, say to me, do you think you're going to stop me from having a party at Christmas? You know what I mean? It's just like, this is the common people. And I feel that the government needs to put the common touch to it in its approach of, look, we'll give you that 5 days, but be sensible, because, Matt, I hear what you're saying. It hasn't gone away. And to think it's ludicrous for 1 minute that COVID is so clever to say, hang on, I'll give you this 5 day break. We might as well go back to the,
That's what I'm saying. I get it. It's not about all these other festivals. It's more it's when it suits them. We've just gone into another 4-week lockdown.
I don't think it suits the government. I think it's that they're doing it for the public. I don't think they're suiting the government. I think
the majority.
It's the majority. I think they'll just keep it locked up.
Yeah.
And then you'll all be moaning. Wow.
This time it was so relaxed when I went out. You know, people had their masks on, but it was very relaxed. People are just sick of it. They're sick and tired of being told what to do.
I'm a little bit like, as I said to Matt the other day, and I pointed to this, because the MIA, which is the Meetings Institution Association, have come up with Boris's announcement. I tried to find it on the feed, actually. I found it on LinkedIn, where he's announced that business meetings up to...
I've got all that, Matt. Right, I've got it.
People can meet, obviously capacity 4,000 reduced in Tier 1 and Tier 2. I believe it's 2,000, and you can only have 1,000 in Tier 1.
Right, here we go. Okay, do you want me to tell you? I've got the posters here. So I've got, so in Tier 1, which is medium now, sport, live performances and business meetings limited to 50% capacity. So that means 50% of what it normally is. Is that what they're saying?
Of the venue capacity. So if the venue
capacity. Or, let me finish, I'm reading. Or 4,000 people outdoors, whichever is lower, and 50% capacity, or 1,000 people indoors. So it is 1,000.
So that, as Matt says, screams ludicrously in the face of it all.
That's what I'm saying. As and when it suits them. I'm annoyed.
Well, I don't think they're bothered about business meetings, are they?
I mean, look at the rules. They contradict each other. What difference does it make?
Yeah. I mean, theatres can open. I've noticed that the West End is brilliant. Yeah. West End is now showing, and what worries me now is we're all scrambling to get those tickets, because it's always about the whole festive season, like traditional, going to see the pantomime and things like that. And they're hugely expensive at the best of times, but I feel like they're going to be massively hyped now because obviously they're trying to make their money back, aren't they?
But they've said this morning that everything. Sorry, so I'm not on the screen, so I'm just reading something. Was that Darren about to breathe and speak? Sorry, it was that we're going to all be in Tier 3, all of us. The whole country is in Tier 3 when we come out of this. That's what they've said. Sorry, Darren, carry on.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. It's not going away. I don't know. Obviously, everyone has their own beliefs in how dangerous it is and how ferocious it can be and whatever else. So if we ignore everything the government's done, it's not going away. The reality is that we saw all the schools go back in September. We saw a ramp up in infections. We've seen possibly some positive impact of the lockdown already as it started to peter off. We haven't gone into winter properly yet, so we've got lower light levels, so therefore less vitamin D, less serotonin being produced. So we will be impacted some way through the winter period, but we're not in winter period yet. We're not even close to winter period, as in colds and flus and caused by cold weather, because it's still, I'm wearing t-shirts and shorts still. So the reality is this is going to peak and trough constantly until we have vaccination mixed with some sort of herd immunity. That mixture of them two, which will happen over time. So what do we recommend we do? So we're the government now. What's our recommendations how do we tackle this? Because it's
everybody locked up.
Keep everybody locked up. But it is there. And there is proof that, for me, the schools being open is showing the infection rate rise. And as soon as you shut school, certainly in Bude, we're seeing it drop again and then go back to some sort of copable level. And that's what the government's having to do. They're having to literally roller coaster ride this. So they're giving us Christmas. They know there's going to be a peak. There's no choice. For mental health and for impact in other areas, it will bring down challenges in other areas, mental health, family, and the ability to want to continue to do this. Because as Boris said it at the very start, the reality is lockdown. We've got one chance of this because the public, and he said it right at the start, the public are going to be fed up and not do it twice. And that's where we are. You're right, Matt. People are doing more of a soft version of it. They're still doing something, which must be having an impact on some percentages. But what would we do rather than saying how? And this is what I get really fed up. I'm no Boris fan. I'm no Keir Starmer fan. In fact, I'm a Guy Fawkes fan. I'll be there, lighting that fire for all of them. Sorry.
Don't say that.
I'm right next to GHQ, mate. I've got no chance. But yeah. So for me, I just get fed up of us saying this is wrong. What's right? How would we do it? What would we do different? And what would we do better?
Well, I think we are doing it right, because if you look at the original lockdown, 3 months, 3.5 months, whatever you want to say, we came out of that and everybody was very relaxed. We had people in the garden, and then you could have a couple of people in your house, and it all got relaxed. And then it spiked again.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's your whole story. That that when you come out of a lockdown, unless it's controlled, it's going to peak again. And as you say, you have to go up and down. You have to take it, because you can't keep people in prison.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at this. In as much as we wait for the 28 days results from the previous period to come through as to where we are on the chart, let's see where the devastation of the economy is, of the losses of jobs, the losses of life outside of COVID when we come to the end of this.
But that's what Darren's just saying, though, Mark, because it's no good saying that. What would you have done? What would you have done?
What could you change? What could you there? Well, the fact is, do we not need to look at, and my wife would be up in arms with this. My brother-in-law lives in Sweden. They have had a different approach from the rest of Scandinavia. And yes, they've gone into a stricter part now, but generally they've kept the economy going and moving. Having some restrictions on your life is for the greater good, but it can only be at a short period, a short period. They talked of this fire break. Most people took this approach 2 weeks. It begs to believe that Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and England all doing different things. They go, we'll do 2 weeks. Scotland says, well, we'll go a bit further. Northern Ireland says, well, actually, we'll do 2 weeks, open up for a week, and then shut down again. And England says, I'll take 4 weeks. We want a common approach to it all. Not you can dip up.
I agree what you're saying, and it is frustrating. But I bet every one of us on this screen here has a family member or a friend that we disagree with. And that's the thing about this whole situation. It is so divisive, and there isn't that one common approach. My family and what we've gone through, we still have some very different opinions and ways that we deal with it. I'm still very much the very cautious side. I'm still cleaning, shopping as it comes in, and all that good stuff because of my son and what's gone on. And then I've got other family members who are a bit more lax and whatever else. And we have very different approaches. And so, to think of a nation to get them to agree, which we can't do at the best of times over anything, over this, we just don't stand a chance. And unfortunately, I do like the localized level. I do like the way that we're bringing it down, and that's helping the economy move. Because if we do the tier system, hopefully we can see that some parts of it will pick up, some parts will be suppressed. Leicester's massively struggling. Bless, that was a terrible place. But yeah, it's. I just don't think there's a right answer. I really don't. I don't think we could come up with the answer. I don't think the government they make mistakes, but
there is a correct answer, which is the medical way. Everybody just stays in, and no one will catch it, and that's the end of it. That's the only way really to do it. So the only other chance we've got is to release that a little bit and let people out. I know it sounds wrong doing that, but you got to let them out and get back into the community, but you've got to stop it from getting out of control. And every time we release it, and I think you'll find when we come out of this on Tuesday, Wednesday, it won't be all plain sailing and pubs open, off we go. I don't think we'll be far from that. I think everybody's going to be in tier 2 and 3, and there's not tier 1. You can forget that's not going to happen. But I think they're going to keep it tight, and you are still balancing it with deaths, and that's the problem because I don't think 5 days is going to do much to release it and meet everybody. I think you'll get a very, very small spike. Because don't forget, when we came out over the summer period, and I do realise it was summer, we came out of it in July, was it? And then it's slowly September, the spike came back. But it was good 3 months before the spike came back. 3 months of just people wandering around, going to pubs and in and out the houses. We're just saying 5 days. So I don't think it's going to cause any massive blips. Really, I don't think so. Because
I think that's what they're gambling with, aren't they? They're gambling with that. They're going to you'll get a lot of benefit back for being with your family versus a small blip. And like I say, it's that greater good. It's balancing the two, balancing the economy as well, because the reality is there's going to be a rush of shopping now. Everyone's going to go out shopping. I've done all mine. You
have to show off.
But they're all going to do their Christmas shopping, so that's going to hit the economy quite well, because obviously leading up to Christmas, I'd have loads of Christmas gigs and whatever else, and the pubs would be full. So they're trying to balance. I can't stand Boris. I can't stand Keir Starmer. But I wouldn't want their job today. I just wouldn't want it. I couldn't make the right decision, and I'm a decision maker. I feel I am, but
did we see last night that the GPs are ringing around the care homes asking permission to get the jab, the vaccine, for next week, asking permission to start doing it next week?
Didn't see that.
No one saw that.
No,
it was on the news last night, and they had a medical guy. It was on ITV, and they were talking about it, and then they said, they're ringing around. The GPs are ringing around the care homes saying and getting permissions, getting the forms signed off, because they're going to start vaccinating next week.
Well, I think that's the key to it all, isn't it? We got these vaccinations in the wing, and they've said, it's tentatively going to be this date, this date. We need to get on with that date and just know when it's rolling out.
Who is testing the? I don't know the vaccine testing process. Where are we with that? Has anybody heard where are and who does that? Is it the government? Don't do it. I take it. It's got to be a
NICE, isn't it? Whatever they're called. It's an acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but yeah. But it's supposed to be. They're still confident they're going to be vaccinating before the end of the year, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
We live in hope.
And maybe that is what the forethought of all this opening up of stadiums, theatres, business events, allowing people to get with their families is, by the time you get there, the most vulnerable in society will be rolled out with the testing. Rolled out rather with the vaccination rather than just testing and tracing.
Yeah, there's just no answer. Matt, on your figures, I've I'd really like to know, when we've got 3 households for Christmas, how many people is that?
Say that again, Darren.
This is where I agree with Matt. So that a lot of the guidance is confusing, but they're having to go to such a finite level. How many people can you have in your house over Christmas?
There's no. It's just 3 households.
There's three households. In each household, you could have 50 people.
Yeah,
but they have to live in that house, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you can't just as someone a stupid idiot on the radio. A stupid idiot on the radio this morning said, "Oh, so that's 3 households on each day." And he said, "Oh, I was just going to get all the different neighbours around each day."
That's what the government's dealing with, isn't it? They're dealing with that level of
stupidity.
Yeah, and I think the one thing you can take from COVID is it's really highlighted that we are pretty stupid as a nation.
Not all of us, Darren.
Yeah, well, you still have 6 people, different people in your garden. Yeah, because you're outside, aren't you?
Yeah. When's this for? Sorry, is this just normal or?
Yeah, we're normal. So they're saying 6 people. It's got.
Let me just check.
Yeah.
Right. So, tier 1, maximum of 6 indoors. Oh. Maximum of 6 indoors or outdoors, apart from with members of a single household or support bubble. See, that makes no sense. Maximum of 6 people indoors or outdoors.
Yeah, because some families will be bigger, won't they? Some families will have, more than 6 people in their whole family, so that'll be their support bubble.
Oh, so that's going back to how it was over the summer. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's tier 1, but we're not in that, so don't worry about it. No one's going to be in that. All right. So tier 2 is no mixing of households indoors apart from support bubbles, and a maximum of 6 outdoors. That's tier 2. That's in your garden.
You outside in the freezing cold.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, we'd have a fire pit, don't you? No mixing of households. There's tier 3s, no mixing of households indoors or most outdoor places, apart from support bubbles. Maximum of 6 in some outdoor places as parks and public gardens. So, yeah, it's just tier 3 is going to be really strict.
Yeah.
But yeah,
grassroots, because I played rugby and believe it or not, yeah.
When?
Used to do it before this.
Oh, you used to? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, only as much as about 6-7 months ago. Well, a year ago. So, it's worse, isn't it? Now? But one of the girls I speak to who plays rugby as well, and her husband's a team captain for the juniors type thing. as well as the club. But they were saying they're planning, and the RFU are trying to get somewhere where we can get back to amateur sport and testing before you actually go out on the pitch.
To play.
That's bizarre, isn't
Yeah.
it? Super
No,
fast.
they've got that somewhere. Let's have a look.
Yeah, super fast testing. You would have a test in the changing room, and before you actually got on, or before you actually get to the changing room, before you actually get in there and change and ready, you'd know if you've got COVID or not.
Yeah, that's that 15-minute test. But isn't that really expensive?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great way forward, wouldn't it? That'd be that sort of test, almost like a diabetes test type thing. Would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Just get it. It's a spit thing, isn't it? It's just a spit on a stick.
I read a weird one today on one of my social media Facebook sites locally that someone was selling a test kit for 12 people for £328 and a turnaround time of 15 days. What's that
15
about?
15 days?
How were they selling them? It worked out. They said it worked out something like £12 something per.
You don't.
I'm just thinking, what's going on here? Where they're selling? It's on like a beauty bargains website, Facebook site.
By the time your test come back, you could have caught it from somewhere else. That's just ridiculous.
You're just wondering what you've entered now. You should have come earlier. Just kept saying,
Maz is very quiet, isn't she?
We were in prison last week.
What are you doing that for?
For on Monday.
You don't want to speak. You don't want to upset your LinkedIn image, do you? But what work?
What is he on about, this guy?
I know. I've seen it. Oh, hi there. I was on the thingy today, and then you start. Oh,
I'm
going to be on it. I'm going to be on it. I thought you hit it, and literally you hit the button, and it goes. And I thought, that's not how it works. What's all that about?
A picture of himself on there.
I like to see myself, you know.
Okay,
anyway,
so everybody smile. Let me take a picture and I will do one today. Darren, Mark, Matt, give me big smileys, boys. Oh, wait. I didn't even get it.
People are tuning in going, what's going on there?
Rose.
Oh, I took it.
Have you? Okay, we don't want to freeze.
Oh my life.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Right, just quickly, who's buying something on Friday from Black Friday? Who's doing it? Or have they bought it already?
I've already bought it.
I think everything started already, isn't it, this week?
Yeah. I'm waiting for it. I think I'm going to get a better deal on Amazon.
No.
They normally do a better deal.
I think Amazon's starts Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the camera doorbell because everyone's got one on my street now. It's just ridiculous.
Or you feel left out.
Yeah.
You can't walk down streets now, can you, without getting captured by one of those?
Ridiculous. Yeah. What happened to you? Privacy law. Don't get started.
Whatever you do, once you get it fitted, don't come back drunk because it's the worst thing. Stays on that memory forever of you getting the key in there. Can't get the key in. It's just so funny. It is so funny. Obviously, Maz just checks her makeup, her hair when she comes in, but that's fine.
Come on, be kind. Be kind.
Why? Why should we? What do you mean, be kind? Because you've got the massive thumbs.
No.
I've still got them all here, Maz. I've still got. Here's the massive thumbs. There they are. Man's hands. Her husband stood behind her. I'm still sure that's her husband's hands.
Matt, that's terrible. It's a man's hand to a lady.
Yeah, I think that's rude, actually, guys.
Do you think so? Look at the size of her hands.
I am 5'9", you know. Not like you, tiny.
Yes.
Yeah, but at least, look, Maz, at least you look great all the time. That's the main thing.
Honestly.
What's happened there? Yeah, they're all still there. They're all still there. Right, that is about it. We are back on Friday. We have... Right, what I need to do, I do need, actually, everybody just to stay still for a second because I do need to take a picture. So, everybody just look normal. Oh, Maz, look normal. Right, okay, everybody stay still. Brilliant. Okay, because I've got a treat. Whoever's on Friday, because we never know. It's always a roll the dice and see what happens. I've got a treat for you on Friday for everybody because it's the
I'm
last show.
definitely coming on Friday. You were so kind to me on this show.
You said you like it, man. I'm mean. So I'm just being mean.
Let's fix Brexit on Friday. I reckon we can do that. It's easier than COVID.
What's that? Oh yeah, we'll do Brexit. Go back to Brexit. Much easier. Yeah, Maz agrees.
Yeah.
You know what they're like? Just one more point on it. Has anybody watched the new series of Spitting Image? Because they use real hands, and that's what that is.
Oh, God.
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure.
Bye.
All right, we will see you all. We'll see you all on Friday. See you, everybody.
Bye.